You've heard it said, health is wealth, so enrich your life with the Healthy Home Hour, brought to you by the Healthy Home Market every Sunday, 9 to 10 a.m. Know what's new and classic for health and wellness. Meet the local and national experts. Live God's plan to thrive, not just survive. I'm your host, Holly Adams, and welcome to the Healthy Home Hour. Morning, friends. Thanks for being here this Healthy Home Hour for natural wellness news, coming at you every weekend for about 4 years running, sponsored by the Healthy Home Market. And today's focus, well, it might shock you, but maybe not, because you know that health knowledge and wisdom is evolving fast, and there's a wellness revolution happening at last. There's an honoring of your own body's genuine genius. It's true. Your body's brilliant, smarter than we know. And scientists, docs, and practitioners are working with new body systems that were unknown in your mother's or your grandmother's day. And one of those is the endocannabinoid system. We're talking cannabis, but it's not exactly herb, weed, or pod. It's really, to share the real deal on hemp versus medical marijuana is Stuart Tomc, Vice President of Human Nutrition at CannaVest, it's a cannabinoid, or CBD for short, company. So stick with us to hear an expert for 20 years running, an expert in nutritional medicine with CannaVest. But first, a quick look at what's up in the new year at the Healthy Home Market. We've got the big one and only health and wellness fair kicking off the new year at the Davidson store on the 16th of January from 1 to 4. It's tastes and treats from around the store, health practitioners for body work, foods, juices. There's going to be kombucha, organic wine, and beer, all to start your 2016 off right and have some fun too. So get healthy and sustain it with the Healthy Home Market. And don't forget the nearly 25 free wellness classes in January, some like Finding Your Own North Star with Lily and Martha Beck. There's meditation classes, healthy gluten-free lifestyle classes, and the always ever popular, for 4 years running, the raw vegan cuisine class with Chef Ami L. So check it out at the Healthy Home Market. That's healthyhomemkt.com for events and classes. The website is loaded with health info. Read my blogs, know about discounts, product demos, and what's for lunch and dinner at the hot bar. It's all organic, and the salad bar too, and get to the main squeeze, juice, and smoothie bar. So go to healthyhomemkt.com. Stuart Tomc, thanks so very much for being here for part of your morning and sharing that with us.
It's certainly my pleasure. It's a great topic, and I'm thrilled to be able to share this cutting-edge information with you and your audience.
Thanks. It really is. First of all, I just want to say I know that you've been a giant in the health food industry for years. I want folks to know that, and that you were the global, not just national, but global educator for Nordic Naturals, which is my very favorite fish oil for omega-3s. Some say it's even more important than a multivitamin, having a good fish oil like Nordic Naturals. And you were also VP of North American Herbs and Spice, and now you're VP of Human Nutrition at CannaVest, made from what most think of as herb, but it's not exactly. And I wonder if you could help us figure out the difference between hemp, or agricultural hemp, and medical marijuana.
Yes, and I think that is a very important distinction as our nation is having this big debate about the use of medical cannabis and or decriminalization. And I just want everybody to know that CannaVest, the organization that I work for, is not really involved in that conversation at all, because what we are doing is extracting the potential benefit of cannabis from agricultural hemp rather than medical marijuana. And this is where it gets very, very confusing, because both of these plants, agricultural hemp that can grow up to 20 feet tall, and it looks more like bamboo, and medical marijuana, both share the exact same genus species. And the genus species is Cannabis sativa, which means that both the plant that they're talking about that can get you high and may have some medical properties, medical marijuana, and agricultural hemp, which is an outdoor crop, are unfortunately both considered the exact same plant. Can you see how confusing that is?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's confused about it pretty much. So I'm so glad you're here to help us figure it out.
And so this is what I help people understand, and I think this could crystallize it beautifully. Do you remember as a kid growing up, driving along the side of the road? I used to take these summer vacations with my grandparents. We would go fishing up and down the Mississippi River. Have you ever seen agricultural hemp, feral hemp, or ditch weed that was just left over from the Second World War, just growing along the road somewhere in America? Have you ever seen that stuff?
I think I have, yes.
If that material is tested and it has just a little bit more of the THC, that's the compound in the medical cannabis that can cause people to feel high. It also may have some analgesic properties. It may have some other potential health benefits under the guidance of a doctor. But if that plant tests just a little bit higher in that one component, then all of a sudden they consider that plant marijuana. Where if it has a very low level of THC, they call the same plant agricultural hemp. Think of it like this. I'm sure that a lot of your customers and people that you talk to have been using kombucha for many years, correct?
Oh, yes. We have a whole section of just, grab and go kombucha. People are just love it, crave it.
And so we know that that's been brewing, no pun intended, for many, many, many years, but now it has become accepted. As you know, kombucha has a very small amount of naturally occurring alcohol, does it not?
Yes, it does.
And if it has more than 0.5%, I think that's the number, then that kombucha is then considered an alcoholic beverage once the percentage of alcohol gets over 0.5%. I'm sure you're familiar with this narrative.
Yes, there was something, maybe 5 years ago, there was something in the media about Lindsay Lohan had been pulled over and maybe a little too much kombucha, and then they kind of changed it because it actually was pulled off the shelves for a while at the Healthy Home Market and then came back.
Right, so that's a very similar narrative to what's going on with agricultural hemp. Agricultural hemp may provide many of the purported analgesic, sedative, anti-inflammatory, and antispasmodic, even anticonvulsant properties, allegedly, in cannabis without any of the psychotoxicity. Did you know that they sold hemp extracts in pharmacies at the turn of the last century? Eli Lilly, Wyeth Park Davis, Sharp, and Dome all made hemp extracts that you could buy at the pharmacy. If you came in with back pain or you were really anxious, had a ton of inflammation, muscle spasticity, even seizures, the pharmacist in 1906 may have handed you a bottle of hemp extract. It was part of the U.S. pharmacopoeia. And then, as we know, the plant was demonized. We were told it had no medical benefit. It was basically wiped out of the lexicon of natural medicine, but now it's finally back.
Well, it's such an interesting history, and I would love to dig into why all that happened, but I'm imagining we can all sort of imagine, and it's probably better to go forward and ask you about just what is it that agricultural hemp does for the body? What is it about these cannabinoids that the body likes so well?
Well, I appreciate you wanting to go forward. So much of the narrative has been around the alleged or real conspiracy theory around agricultural hemp or cannabis, and I agree with you. I don't think it's worth going backwards. What is important is to realize that the anecdotal evidence of thousands of years and then the basic science that's taken place throughout the 70s and 80s in many cases overseas. And now the early preclinical evidence suggesting that there's tremendous benefit with this plant, we can now keep our eyes on the future, look forward to a time where this plant is no longer vilified, and we can unlock the mysteries of the plant. And before I dive into that, I want to use an analogy that I heard at a big medical conference recently that was the clearest explanation of dissecting all of the compounds in hemp. And let's look at them like this. Do you recall when you first started doing this, and many of our listeners probably recall hearing about the enormous potential benefit of drinking green tea?
Well,
That's not a new narrative. We've known about that forever, right?
Mm-hmm, you're right.
Now, before we dissected the plant, we just knew that it was loaded with antioxidants and polyphenols, and it had all these neat cofactors in there. And we knew anecdotally, historically, that people that drank a lot of green tea tended to have fairly good health, even though there were many co-founders. Now that we dive deep into green tea, we find out that green tea has caffeine, which is the stimulant, and theanine, which helps to relax you, correct?
Yes, it does.
It also has epigallocatechin gallate and many other antioxidants and polyphenols. And now you can go into a store and you can get caffeine. You can get theanine. You can buy epigallocatechin gallate. We've been able to parse the green tea, pull it apart, look at all of the different ingredients. And of course, some people still believe, and they may be right, that you can't do better than drinking the green tea itself the way that nature, the universe made it. We need to, I believe, start looking at cannabis and agricultural hemp in that way, because did you know that the cannabis plant contains over 500 different active compounds?
I didn't realize it was that many. That's astounding. I mean, what is it what are these compounds? Why do our bodies like them so much? There's, information out there about the receptor sites in the body, and there's this real connection between the endocrine system and these cannabinoids, or what's in the agricultural hemp.
And that's the prize. You nailed it. We need to, I believe, this is just my humble opinion, we need to stop focusing on the plant and the compounds in the plant as the central theme of the narrative. What I mean by that is our bodies have an endogenous endocannabinoid system. These are big, cumbersome, tricky words, but it simply means that one of the major differences between vertebrae and invertebrate was the development of the endocannabinoid system, meaning your body, my body, all of our bodies, everybody listening, your body makes marijuana-like compounds all day long. I'll say that again. All day long, your body makes 2-arachidonyl glycerol and anandamide and many others. These are endogenous, meaning your body makes them internally, lipid-mediating signal molecules that actually talk to these receptor sites in the brain and in the periphery that are involved in every single physiological process. I'll say that again. The endocannabinoid system is the most pleiotropic signaling systems in vertebrae. It is involved in every single aspect of your physiology and pathology. And we didn't know that this system existed until 1992. It is the master control system, and it talks to the endocrine, metabolic, immune, musculoskeletal, neural support. It is the master communicator, and it has one primary assignment. Your body's endocannabinoid system is designed to find balance. It picks up on pathological disturbances, and it adjusts, and it sends signals to certain parts of the body to maybe increase attention in other parts of the body, vasoconstriction, vasodilation. increasing anti-nociceptive signaling, helping to reduce inflammation. It is constantly talking to every organ, every system in the body to bring you into balance. And that's why the cannabis conversation is so monumental for medicine. It's not about feeling more relaxed. Sure, that may have some benefits. It's about supporting the endocannabinoid system, which in turn supports you. Liz, how can we do that safely and effectively with as few side effects as possible?
Well, Stuart, this is fascinating. This is so huge. And, when you start thinking about it, you wonder about, all the supplements that are out there and what taking this product, CannaVest, would actually do to up the improvement and the efficacy of everything that you're already doing, all the good, healthy things that folks are trying to do and focus on. And everybody's figuring it out that you've got to be more healthy and take more ownership of your health. I am so glad you're here today to talk about this. And we're going to keep the conversation going right after this quick break, right here on Streets 103.3, the one and only Charlotte's new hip hop station.
It's ho, ho, ho for the last of 2015, and nothing makes the holidays a success like an all-natural turkey with sides made from organic ingredients. Those other standard conventional foods just can't compare in flavor, nutrients, and complements. This is the year to get to the Healthy Home Market for real turkeys, plain or smoked. Have it your way, but order them now. And how about organic sweet potatoes with organic marshmallows? Ooh, it's so good. Try organic beans, carrots, and collards, and the right stuff for stuffing. With the Healthy Home Market, you can dig into the taste of real food. Give Grandma a rest with City Girl pastries for a home-cooked apple or pumpkin pie. Get everything you need for a healthy holiday spread at the Healthy Home Market in Plaza Midwood, the Galleria Mall, or the Davidson store off I-77 at exit 30. Check it out at healthyhomemkt.com. That's healthyhomemkt.com for a happy holiday for you and your family from our foodie family at the Healthy Home Market.
Does your business recycle their cardboard? If not, they should. Recycling cardboard at your business can save money. It's not only the right thing to do, it can save money as well. Now that's a winner-winner chicken dinner, and we want to help, so log on to wipeoutwaste.com.
We're back. Glad you're here, talking with us, listening with us on the Healthy Home Hour, sponsored by the Healthy Home Market. I'm your host, Holly Adams, and we're here with Stuart Tomc from CannaVest, and he is a cannabinoid educator. If you've missed the first section of the first part of our show today, we're talking about agricultural hemp and how very different it is. It's a different ball game from standard marijuana. And Stuart, you were telling us about how this cannabinoid system that comes from the cannabis sativa plant, that it actually has a connection with the hormonal system, which in turn is a modulating system. What I find so exciting about what you're saying is how it helps the body self-regulate somehow. And that's so important in today's world because we are sort of assaulted by toxins and stress and EMFs and bad food. And, if you're making that choice, tell us a little bit more about the relationship.
Yeah, no, that's really the gem. The most important thing we need to focus on is this ECS, or the endocannabinoid system. Let's talk about the therapeutic areas and the health applications of how some of the compounds in cannabis, the ones that don't get you high but may help keep you healthy, have a direct effect on balancing the endocannabinoid system. And that's really what we're talking about here. At CannaVest, we have been growing and producing agricultural hemp extracts to give to customers the benefit of medical cannabis, in most cases, not all, without the psychotoxicity or side effects. So how can touching the endocannabinoid system, how can supporting the endocannabinoid system with CBD, that stands for cannabidiol, if you will. It's the B side of the record. When you think of THC, that's the cannabinoid many of us know by the 3-letter initial, which we know gets you high. CBD, if you will, is the B side of the record.
Right.
Which I love that analogy, that has tremendous therapeutic areas and applications. Here's where I would think the low-hanging fruit is. Nervous system health, mood, anxiety, restorative sleep, circadian rhythm optimization. The endocannabinoid system, when it is out of balance, you may not be sleeping effectively, properly, consistently. You may not be repairing enough, because the endocannabinoid system directly speaks to the circadian rhythm of your body, and we find that dysregulation in this system may be the reason why you are not sleeping all night long. People take... Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's so huge. I mean, 40 million people in America alone don't sleep, and there's so many drugs that have some very significant toxic side effects. But sleep is important, so people will do just about anything for it. And it makes me think about you're talking about the nervous system. You mentioned anxiety, and there's so many people that suffer from depression. So what you're saying is that this is really helping also the sort of neuro-emotional system.
Oh, yes. No, you are. That is. I'm so happy that you're willing to go there, because not everybody is, right? Some shows, people want to keep it very mechanistic. I mean, CBD will help you stay asleep all night long. It has affinity for the 5-HT1A receptor. Now, I'm not trying to talk over anybody's head. I just want people to understand that we know or are learning these mechanisms of action. That is called the serotonin receptor. And that receptor, the 5-HT1A receptor, is the target for drugs like Prozac and Paxil and many of these other drugs that are widely prescribed. CBD has affinity for the serotonin receptor site. It also may behave like an MAO inhibitor, and as a result, help to elevate well-being, and you said something before we went to break that we have to repeat over and over and over. As a modulator, nature, in its complex wisdom of all of these compounds working together, many times has the ability to support and modulate versus taking out one active compound and having it be sort of a more aggressive approach. Using hemp extracts is a safe and nuanced way not only to support with sleep and mood and anxiety, but you mentioned emotional health. You know they're using these cannabinoids. They are using these cannabinoids, researchers, right now, especially CBD for post-traumatic stress disorder, because, listen to this, people that can't forget. How many people do you know that can't let it go?
Sure, a lot of folks. I mean, grief is a tough thing to really let go of.
Or anger or resentment.
Yes, right, exactly. It's tough.
We're now finding people that cannot get over it, that can't let it go, may have dysregulation in their endocannabinoid system. Meaning there is a physiological, potentially a nutrient deficiency.
Incredible.
That is keeping them from being healthy enough to forget. And so we may need to remember everything for the first half of our lives. Some researchers are suggesting maybe we need to start dumping data. My phone is a good example. I'm not one of these guys that's in love with technology. I don't dump all the pictures off my phone, and then every night I plug in my phone, it says I have two options. I can get rid of things on my phone or upgrade and get more memory. The brain is very similar, except we can't always upgrade and get more memory, can we?
No, not always. It's hard to do sometimes. A lot of times.
It's probably even harder to dump things out of your brain. So the adaptive benefit, the health and well-being that can come from forgetting, relaxing, if you can get heart rate variability, parasympathetic nervous system more in balance, If you're sleeping all night long, I just spent some time at a big medical conference here in San Diego, Integrative Medical Conference, and we had Deepak Chopra addressed our entire audience, and it was streamed worldwide. There were 800 of us in the room. And regardless of where you stand on the Deepak Chopra question, he has been an innovator in many, many ways with mind-body medicine. We know that.
No question.
He put his list on the screen of the 3 most important things that you need to do to stay healthy. And I'm a little embarrassed to admit I only remembered the first and the third one. I can't remember what the second one is. I got to look it up. Number 1, he said sleep. Yeah. Number 3 was forgive.
Yes.
So if your customers, if people listening to this show, if we stayed asleep all night long, if we were able to let things go, that's enough benefit. What CBD from hemp also does is it increases insulin sensitivity through a very complex mechanism of action. Are you familiar with the nuclear receptors? Have you heard of the PPAR receptors?
I have not, actually, no. What is that?
They are the targets for the TZDs, the blood sugar handling drugs. It's the same target in many cases that DHA, you're familiar with how
Sure.
DHA from omega-3 may increase insulin sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
It does it through a mechanism called PPAR, peroxisome proliferated activated receptors, and there are several of them. CBD has affinity for that system as well. So the management of central obesity, adipokine, myokine profiles, it increases thermogenesis, more beige, more brown adipose tissue. If you sleep more, you burn more energy. You're more efficient at caloric utilization and partitioning. Increasing insulin sensitivity means melting of gut visceral adipose tissue. You lose the belly as a byproduct of being more efficient and sleeping more. Then you've got stress resilience. I mentioned heart rate variability, but it's more cytokine, hormonal, functional outcomes, recovery, and adaptation. Do you know how many people are out there pounding their knees away all day long doing CrossFit?
Oh, I know.
Come on. I mean, you're going to need to have powerful reparative compounds in the body regularly, especially antioxidants that cross the blood-brain barrier. So when we look at these proposed mechanisms of action, how about supporting the immune system? Are you familiar with the drug Humira that they're playing that commercial for all night long?
Oh, it's incessant. It's on the TV all the time.
Okay, and how does it work? It is what we call a TNF-alpha, tumor necrosis factor alpha inhibitor. And TNF, tumor necrosis factor, is a measurement of aberrant inflammation. It's probably one of the more accepted measurements of sort of unresolved aberrant inflammation. In a rat model, not humans yet, CBD from hemp and CBD from marijuana downregulate TNF-alpha, meaning it could be the most powerful anti-inflammatory that we have ever discovered and the safest at the same time. Now, we need more human evidence to support that. And then finally, gastrointestinal and digestive health. The connection between the gut microbiome and the endocannabinoidome is a nice reminder of how everything we do, everything is interconnected. So CBD on a regular basis from hemp can help you relax, sleep properly, balance circadian rhythm, increase insulin sensitivity, management of central obesity, stress resilience, recovery and adaptation, supporting the immune system in the most nuanced way yet, and keeping you regular. That is a powerful botanical compound.
That is fascinating. It really sounds like the cannabinoids are building the body up from the inside out. And, all of us need to have better sleep and be able to handle stress better. And this idea of forgetting is really fascinating. It almost alludes to some kind of a neuroplasticity that's happening as a result of taking CBD.
as a lack of neuroplasticity led to your inability to let things go. And it's just beautiful that you pick up on sort of the most nuanced part of what this plant can do for you. And it's so experiential. When you start taking CBD from agricultural hemp, within the first few days of using it, there is a major shift. Now, keep in mind, not everybody needs support with their endocannabinoid system. I know you said, hey, I'm sure we could all use some more sleep, but let's be fair. If you're sleeping all night long, you have no stress, no anxiety, no inflammation, you just can let things go mentally, emotionally, you're at the top of your game, your endocannabinoid system may be working just fine. It's when you're not that you really may want to explore this. So if you're the kind of person that's drawn to the adaptogens, I was taking tons of melatonin and theanine and kava and GABA. I mean, listen, I'm like this in the morning.
Right.
All day long. They're like, get the guy something to relax. Remedy. Nothing helped me the way that this stuff does, and you and everyone listening needs to find out if CBD is for you. Again, if you're healthy and balanced and strong in every way, you may not need this kind of support, but for the rest of us, this is certainly a treasure trove of healing.
It's fascinating. Really, there's so much to talk about. And I want to remind everybody that, of course, we have CBD, CannaVest, at all Healthy Home Markets in Charlotte and one in Davidson. And we've got it goes from sprays to capsules. There's a lot of different ways to take it. There's oil bombs, and it has a range of prices from about $18 to $60, $63. There's a lot of different ways to get it into your system. So stay with us, folks. We've got lots more to talk about with CannaVest and this cannabinoid system with Stuart Tomc on Streets 1033.
Does your business recycle their cardboard? If not, they should. Recycling cardboard at your business can save money. It's not only the right thing to do, it can save money as well. Now that's a winner-winner chicken dinner. And we want to help, so log on to wipeoutwaste.com.
It's ho, ho, ho for the last of 2015, and nothing makes the holidays a success like an all-natural turkey with sides made from organic ingredients. Those other standard conventional foods just can't compare in flavor, nutrients, and complements. This is the year to get to the Healthy Home Market for real turkeys, plain or smoked. Have it your way, but order them now. And how about organic sweet potatoes with organic marshmallows? Ooh, it's so good. Try organic beans, carrots, and collards, and the right stuff for stuffing. With the Healthy Home Market, you can dig into the taste of real food. Give Grandma a rest with City Girl pastries for a home-cooked apple or pumpkin pie. Get everything you need for a healthy holiday spread at the Healthy Home Market in Plaza Midwood, the Galleria Mall, or the Davidson store off I-77 at exit 30. Check it out at healthyhomemkt.com. That's healthyhomemkt.com for a happy holiday for you and your family from our foodie family at the Healthy Home Market.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Healthy Home Hour. I'm Holly Adams, and we are here with Stuart Tomc, who is the VP of Human Nutrition at CannaVest, a cannabinoid company that makes oils, bombs, sprays for this regulating, modulating agricultural hemp product that's really talking about evolution and revolution. It's possible that this could really be the missing piece for you. Before the break, Stuart, we were talking about, you mentioned so many things. One of the things that I want to circle back on is inflammation, because it seems to be at the root of so many health issues, from neurological issues to arthritis, all the sort of autoimmune disorders. Can you talk a little bit more about what it's doing, how it actually is down-regulating inflammation?
Well, there are several mechanisms of action that are involved in its anti-inflammatory properties. And I would think that the best explanation that I have ever seen of how it works for inflammation is in John Hicks's new book. John Hicks's new book, which is just available on Amazon. I'm just going to pull it up here in real time. We just did a book signing with John Hicks at the A4M event in Las Vegas. Are you familiar with A4M?
Yes.
Okay, it's one of the biggest groups of anti-aging medicine experts in the world, and we had a 200 people stand in line to get a copy of his new book. It's called The Medicinal Power of Cannabis. The Medicinal Power of Cannabis. John Hicks, Hicks. And he will take you through a step-by-step explanation of how phytocannabinoids, CBD in particular, help to balance the immune inflammatory response. And unlike omega-3, that is the substrate for downstream anti-inflammatory hormone-like compounds, CBD and phytocannabinoids appear to work further upstream, modulating those aberrant inflammatory responses, that hyperactive cytokine storm. When you get some horrible situation like Ebola, you know it's not the virus that kills you, it's your immune system that kills you. Just like we see with people that have Crohn's disease or other idiopathic autoimmune conditions. What we're seeing is that CBD further up the stream can blunt and modulate that inflammatory cascade, which is important because we're not just knocking out cyclooxygenase with anti-inflammatory drugs. No. With CBD and these cannabis extracts, we may be able to upregulate reactive oxygen species when need be to kill bad cells and germs we don't want, correct?
Sure.
And then downregulate reactive oxygen species when need be as a neuroprotective through modulation of the calcium and potassium ion channel. So it is one of the most unique plants we've seen because science has linked that endocannabinoid system with complex processes from anxiety to immunity, and keeping in mind that what CBD is really doing is balancing endocannabinoid tone. We don't all need to be on anti-inflammatories all day long. I don't know about you, but every time I heard that message, it doesn't ring true based on physiology or science. You need a robust immune response when you get sick, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
You just need to be able to resolve the inflammatory cascade in a more efficient way. So the combination of diet and exercise and lifestyle, probiotics, omega-3, I agree with your opening statement, much more important, in my opinion, than a multivitamin. I'm going to put CBD in the short list, and I'm even going to go so far as to call it a conditionally essential nutrient, which we may find out to be true in the coming decades.
So you would say you're talking CBD, a fish oil, maybe some vitamin D. What else would you add to that list, Stuart?
Probiotics, for sure. I mean, the gut-brain connection, the endocannabinoid gut microbiome connection is going to be enormous. And what we're, I think, really faced with is with groups like 23andMe and other personalized genomics testing that's coming online that's cheap and affordable. I'm looking forward to, after 30 years of being in this industry, I'm looking forward to the end of the infomercial. Here's what I mean by that. We're about to find out, based on personalized testing, that certain nutrients are absolutely critical for certain people with certain conditions at certain times. Meaning, the idea that we should all be paleo, or we should all be vegan, or we should all be taking resveratrol.
Right.
We're going to find out that that's a joke. It was always a joke. We're going to find out who needs what with this personalized testing. However, in that short list of what is universal, sleep, forgiveness, balance, probiotics, fish oils, phytocannabinoids, I don't think we'll be able to do without them.
So you in talking about balance, and you mentioned something that was the endocannabinoid tone. It's almost like keeping yourself toned up to have your endocannabinoid system in health and wellness, and that almost like, toning your muscles. And then, it reminds me, we did a show last week on enzymes and how important enzymes are to the whole process of your body staying well and being toned. Is there something, and enzymes are so basic, and you mentioned probiotics as being on the short list of important things to do for yourself and for your long-term wellness. What about enzymes and CBD?
Oh, digestive enzymes?
Well, is there a modulation of enzymes in some way, maybe metabolic enzymes? And I'm assuming it's going to help your digestive enzymes too.
Yes, but a different type of enzymes. The CBD actually can impede. Thank you for asking that question. Thank you, because I missed it in my enthusiasm. CBD can impede the enzymes responsible for the metabolism of your body's endogenous endocannabinoids. What the heck does that mean?
Yeah, tell us.
Your body makes something called anandamide, which means bliss in Sanskrit. It is a neuromodulator. It's the messenger. It's an endocannabinoid made from arachidonic acid. Now, it has affinity for the same receptor site as THC. Your body makes a compound that talks to the same receptor site that gets lit up, no pun intended, when somebody encounters THC. So your body makes its own natural THC, just like we make our own endorphins. We make our own serotonin. We make our own opiates. We're the greatest pharmacy in the world. CBD can delay the enzymes that metabolize the endocannabinoids. Well, what does that do? Imagine if you had longer signaling with your body's marijuana-like compounds, and that lifted your sense of well-being and gave you balance, because you're telling the enzymes that quickly degrade these messengers, hey, take a break. Take a break so we can have longer and better communication with the cannabinoid receptor site. This happens when you take CBD products, and it makes you feel spectacular.
That's fascinating. It's amazing how it really sounds from what you're saying that CBD oil is so good at modulating, and it's almost like it's reminding me of somebody surfing on the waves. It's very responsive to all the nuance within the body, and it's so many people are suffering. Say, let's go into the subject of pain and how to cope with all kinds of pain, neuralgia and neuropathy and back pain and neck pain. And there's been a lot in the media over the years, and we all know about, Vioxx and Celebrex and how horrible that was for people overall. I think it was something like 140,000 people had heart attacks because of Vioxx. And I got to believe, with all the balancing that's going on, that CBD has a positive effect on pain without a lot of side effects.
Yes, the way that it works is it modulates the mu opioid receptor. So CBD allosterically modulates the receptor for your body's endogenous painkillers. Now, that's very interesting. It can help keep you in a place where you are relatively efficient using your body's natural anti-nociceptive or pain mechanisms, which means it can help you with pain, and you may be able to reduce the amount of painkiller that you're actually taking by using CBD, but make sure that you always run this by your primary care physician, because this is a brand new ingredient. Preclinical evidence is suggesting its efficacy. Here's a paper in Neurotherapeutics that says preclinical evidence conclusively demonstrates CBD's efficacy in reducing anxiety behaviors relevant to multiple disorders. preclinical evidence, meaning we're at the precipice of randomized controlled trials. What does that mean? We don't have exact dosing. And that shouldn't scare anyone, because this plant has been used for 10,000 years. And you know when you've had enough, when you get results. CBD is amazing because it can give you the benefit but doesn't get you high. So you can get potentially the benefit of medical cannabis without the risk or the side effects. Most people start slow. They take a few milligrams of CBD, maybe 2-3 milligrams a day, up to about 10 milligrams a day. Many people experience relief from symptoms at that dose. Some people need 25 milligrams a day for subjective social anxiety disorder. So the therapeutic window is quite wide.
Interesting.
And that's where we have to be patient and learn how much our bodies need.
So in other words, every person is different, which is, sometimes, so often it seems when you go to, and you get medication from the doctor, it's very, it's sort of like a one size fits all versus.
Oh, and that will be the most difficult thing for people to understand. The most difficult thing for people to understand is that it's going to take them some experimentation on themselves to find the right dose. Start slowly, build up. This isn't like one of those products where it's a loading dose. You don't want to take a whole lot up front, just a little bit. And have you been using the Plus CBD oil yourself?
I started using the capsules just recently. So I'm thinking about that list you talked about from Deepak Chopra, and he said, sleep, balance. Sleep is such a big issue. I have a sleep thing myself. Sometimes it's difficult. I don't get enough sleep, and so many people do. So how would you start out? What might somebody learn from today to get started on it?
Well, I think the best way to get started would be to use the lower concentration material, the sprays. You can start for less than $20. You get 100 milligrams of CBD in a 1-ounce bottle.
Yes.
2 to 10 sprays a day, 1 to 5 milligrams. We're getting reports all across the country. We're in 400 health food stores now, 200 doctors' offices, between 1 to 5 milligrams of CBD, panic, stress during the day. And we all are dealing with it, most of us, I should say, on one level or another. And that once you get familiar with how you're going to respond to it, then you could upgrade to, say, the extra strength in the 2-ounce bottle, save some money because you're going to be using it.
Yes, right.
The capsule that you're taking is currently being used in an 80-person open-label pilot trial. And I have our first case history will be published in Integrative Medicine, a clinician's journal, later this week or Monday at the latest. So that should be the first report case history of using these hemp-derived CBD products from CannaVest. And then the concentrates that we have. For the people that are very, very sensitive to every other ingredient, I'm sure you noticed when you look at our green total plant complex,
yes,
it lists other ingredients as none. Did you notice that?
I did notice that. I wanted to ask you about that.
So that means when you eat the green total plant complex, you're getting all of the fatty acids from the seeds and the stem and the stalk, the cannabinoids that we're raving about, the terpenes that also have some unique benefits for the body, plant sterols, which we know can keep cholesterol from being atherogenic, all 8 isomers of naturally occurring vitamin E, so you may not need soy-based vitamin E, and of course chlorophyll, which we all know and love, is the sort of blood of the plant, if you will.
Yes.
So that plant complex, one of those little containers, that could contain 4 doses, it could contain 8 doses, just depending on how much you need. We then take that green material and we up-concentrate it into what we call our gold formula. And the gold formula gives you the highest concentration of CBD by volume. So we have the spray in the introductory size. We have the extra strength. Then you could graduate to a capsule if need be once you see how much you're taking. And then you can always use the pure, raw plant extract without any other fillers, binders, flow agents, ingredients of any kind, because as we know, that part of the market, that educated, sophisticated part of the market, they're demanding products without other added ingredients.
Absolutely. These are the kinds of customers that we have at the Healthy Home Market, and other customers that are going in that direction, because that it's clear that we don't really need a lot of binders and fillers overall. Thank you for teasing that out and breaking it down for us. We're going to be right back. We're going to take just a short break and stay with us, folks. We're talking with Stuart Tomc of CannaVest CBD oil from the cannabis plant. It's agricultural hemp, here for you on the Healthy Home Hour.
It's ho, ho, ho for the last of 2015, and nothing makes the holidays a success like an all-natural turkey with sides made from organic ingredients. Those other standard conventional foods just can't compare in flavor, nutrients, and complements. This is the year to get to the Healthy Home Market for real turkeys, plain or smoked. Have it your way, but order them now. And how about organic sweet potatoes with organic marshmallows? Ooh, it's so good. Try organic beans, carrots, and collards, and the right stuff for stuffing. With the Healthy Home Market, you can dig in to the taste of real food. Give Grandma a rest with City Girl pastries for a home-cooked apple or pumpkin pie. Get everything you need for a healthy holiday spread at the Healthy Home Market in Plaza Midwood, the Galleria Mall, or the Davidson store off I-77 at exit 30. Check it out at healthyhomemkt.com. That's healthyhomemkt.com for a happy holiday for you and your family from our foodie family at the Healthy Home Market.
Does your business recycle their cardboard? If not, they should. Recycling cardboard at your business can save money. It's not only the right thing to do, it can save money as well. Now that's a winner-winner chicken dinner. And we want to help, so log on to wipeoutwaste.com.
Hey, glad you're here. You're listening to the Healthy Home Hour, sponsored by the Healthy Home Market. And this hour, we've been speaking with the Stuart Tomc of CannaVest. He's just given us all kinds of information about this incredible product that you're going to hear more and more and more about as time goes by if you're focused on wellness. So, Stuart, we've talked about so many things, from sleep deprivation to pain, to mental health issues, PTSD. You even mentioned that CannaVest can do quite a lot for melting fat around the middle, that brown fat that's tough to get rid of. Tell us about maybe an overarching, like, why would somebody jump in, and where would they jump in at, which, from the oil to the spray, and kind of an overarching look at what we've been talking about.
Well, a beautiful summary in the words of Dr. Joe Maroon. Dr. Maroon happens to be the team neurosurgeon for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's also a title scholar in neurosciences, University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. He just wrote a chapter in Anti-Aging Therapeutics, which is really the official ongoing book, if you will, from the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. So let me just read his summary, and I think this should set the stage on answering that question. According to Dr. Maroon, the current state of research is still in its early phases, and large randomized studies will be needed before mainstream acceptance occurs. Early adopters, however, are reporting human health benefits that will demand further investigation and confirmation over time. We believe at this time that hemp-based CBD, that's important,
yes,
is a novel supplement that with further study could indeed have a profound effect upon improving human health. Now, when we look at the review that was done in pharmaceuticals in 2012, because again, this stuff was under prohibition. There were no randomized control trials. We were told there was no benefit. They say conclusively, CBD may decrease anxiety. It may help people relax. High doses of CBD could be useful for the treatment of social anxiety disorders, insomnia, even epilepsy. It has an analgesic effect, especially for neuropathic pain. That tells us that we're dealing with something profound and very powerful. So most people, if you want to start using CBD, should start slowly, start at a low dose, and build up. You may only need 5 or 10 milligrams a day. We're getting incredible reports at those doses. So I would say get the spray, the regular 100 milligram, 1 ounce spray. I mean, $18.95. This is not an expensive botanical extract. Find that dose where you're getting the best balance, and then you can adjust products you're buying accordingly. Again, if you're looking for help with nervous system health, recovery and adaptation, gastrointestinal digestive health, irritable bowel syndrome, social anxiety disorder, metabolic health, supporting the immune system, and even some more difficult to treat conditions, talk to your primary care physician. Go to pubmed.gov and also get a copy of Dr. John Hicks's new book, which is just finally out on Amazon, so that you can learn more and more about what doctors are doing and how they're using hemp-derived CBD for a myriad of conditions.
Wonderful. That's great advice, and I want to follow that up with saying that, folks, you can come into the Healthy Home Market and talk to our educated vitamin staff and give it a start. Give it a try with the sprays that Stuart's talking about. And, you know, Stuart, before we go, there's one thing that we didn't discuss, and I do want to ask you because there is some thought out there about how this system, this endocannabinoid system and CBD might actually improve the effects of cancer treatments.
Yes, now that is an area where we've done some exciting work with animal models and cell lines. But we need to be very, very cautious. This is where CannaVest truly needs to be a leader. Do you remember all those years ago when people were talking about apricot kernels and, you know, Laetrile, the
yes,
B17?
Sure.
Where do you find that product now?
Well, actually, you can order it at the Healthy Home Market.
Right. But you can't really talk about it much, right?
Not really. But you can order it. They're pretty tasty, apricot kernels.
Well, it's a very similar thing here. And this time, we believe it really works. Not that didn't, but that this works in a more robust way.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to be very, very, very cautious. Just because cannabinoids are blowing up tumors in rats and destroying it in cell lines, I mean, wiping it out, it's quite remarkable. We don't have enough conclusive human evidence yet, so let's be cautious. Let's keep in mind that a balanced, healthy endocannabinoid system is critical, especially if you're in a very, very challenging health condition. Now, if you've got issues with sleep and appetite as a result of radiation or chemotherapy, you know that there's a huge oxidative burden on the system, which, again, you need for that kill shot. You need to help balance that with healthy things, especially some of the phytocannabinoids that can balance the ECS. So let's be cautious around the big C word, but if you go to pubmed.gov, pubmed.gov, and you type in cannabinoids and cancer, there's an incredible review that was even in Nature, which, you know, Nature is like the ivory tower, one of them, of journals. So it's hopeful, but we don't want to be too enthusiastic about the big C connection until there's more evidence.
Great. Well, that's good information. It's interesting to know that there's work being done on it, and it's fascinating to learn from you today, Stuart, about the far-reaching effects of building basic health from CBD oil through CannaVest. So I thank you so much for being on the show with us today. It's been great.
Truly my pleasure.
Great. We'll do it again. And thanks, folks, for listening. It's CannaVest. You can check it out at CannaVest.com or go to the Healthy Home Market at healthyhomemkt.com. I'm going to write a blog on this, and we can get into some more details about it. Come to the market and talk to our vitamin staff and check it out. Everything from sprays to creams, balms, and capsules to try CannaVest and deal with some of these long-standing issues you might have been coping with. And thanks so much for being with us today. Happy Sunday. Peace out, y'all. Talk soon. Till next week.
Thank you.
Pay it forward and restore yourself by making the healthy choices for you and your family, and enjoy life with the Healthy Home Market. Feel the goodwill and own great health. Check it out at healthyhomemkt.com. That's healthyhomemkt.com for store locations, details, and discounts. Get the best of God's green blue earth at the Healthy Home Market.